The B&O Railroad was one of the first chartered railroads in the United States many years ago, and it's important that people know that that building is a part of Russellville. A lot of people went through there to get on the passenger train. They go to Indianapolis and spend 4 or 5 hours and get on the passenger train and come back. And it's important that people know about Russellville's depot. It's the only one that I know of that's still standing on the Indianapolis, on the Decatur subdivision, which is between Indianapolis and Decatur, Illinois.
I have down that the first depot was destroyed on March the 7th, 1901. And for the use of the depot then, where they had a boxcar, number 716, and it was used as the depot. The second depot was built then April the 15th, 1903.
I was here, I followed my dad. I was working at Marshall Depot when my dad retired. And that was about 1960. And I worked there for about 10 years.
I lived just right out west of town, and the railroad was right behind the house. So I could always hear it, and we'd always run out and wave at the guys on the train. So it was always a part of our life, or my life, I think so. Then people didn't drive. You didn't go to Carversville every day. A lot of people didn't have vehicles. But you very seldom went to Indianapolis. And if you got to go to Indianapolis, it was by the train.
And back during 1944, when I was in high school, I was ready to go to work. And during the summer, they would put me to work as on the extra board, which they could send you any place. Anybody was sick or anybody on vacation. The railroad paid Dad and I for me to train. I got 50 cents an hour and Dad got $1 an hour. Well, he went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing he had to do was to get a lineup of all trains for the section men that worked on the track. And after that, why, it was just minor little things that he had to do, like bill out corn or wheat or soybeans. They even shipped cattle in here at one time for Oscar Clodfelder. They shipped several carloads of cattle in, and at one time they shipped several carloads of pipe in and dumped the pipe in the ditch between the railroad, between the two tracks. And it was a very interesting job, because there was something to do all the time. A passenger train came in the morning, and then in the evening, of course, in the evening he wasn't there. But everybody would go up to the passenger train about 6 o'clock in the evening and wait for the mail. We had better mail service then than we do now. It used to be the Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Decatur Railroad, a CID, before the B&O bought it. And it's wood, and then they came along later, and I can't tell you what year it was, and put aluminum siding on it. And then they took out the old pot-bellied coal stove, which was a good heater, really did a good job of heating, and put an oil stove in, and the oil stove wouldn't even heat the depot. The depot inside was originally was 2 rooms, or 3 rooms really. The waiting room, the office, and then the baggage room. And they tore that part of it out between the office and the passenger place so they could get heat back into the office. My first years there was excellent, then it got very slow. The hardest thing you had to do was make out your time slip. And I knew that sooner or later, well, I was a union chairman, and I knew that sooner or later they were going to close the depot, and I wasn't going to move my wife and my family over in Illinois, where I would have had to gone to Decatur or Tuscola, and so I found another job.
The last mail was February the 10th, 1950. The last railway express was May the 31st, 1963. 1964 was the telegraph was discontinued. The depot closed then on June the 3rd, 1977. In 1980 something, we got word that they were going to tear down the depot or burn it. So my sister-in-law and I decided we'd like to have it, to keep it for Russellville. So we found out we could, so we bought it. And I think people coming in and saying, well, I remember sitting in here. I think that, and they would come in, maybe say something about when they went, that there wasn't anything special, but they said, well, I remember we went to Indianapolis. And the last we had open was Christmas, when we had our Christmas get-together at town. Why, we opened that and had it as a candy shop, and people came in and they enjoyed Christmas. I would like to have had the money to have done more to it, and I wish somebody would fix it up. It needs to be, but it's there, the building's there, so that's what it was.
I hope it stays there forever until at least I'm gone. I hope it remains a part of Russellville, because it is a part of Russellville. And coming in from the north, when you see the depot, you know you're in Russellville.